We're here with Robert Law and his amazing 1957 Pontiac Bonneville fuel injected, one of 630 cars made for that year. One car for each of its dealerships. How long have you owned the car?
They came out half year, about March or April, or yeah, March or April. That's when they came out.
Gotcha. And how long have you had it?
Since '57.
Oh, you bought it new?
Yes.
Oh, wow, wow.
Like I said, tell everybody, it's still got the same tires on it.
Yeah, what's amazing about this car is it's 100% original. Even has the tires that came from the dealership. Now, I read somewhere that there's an estimated approximately 35 to 40 of these left.
Yeah.
How many do you think are untouched like this?
I would not know. Not very many, because they had troubles with the fuel injection, and they took them off and put a carburetor on them.
.347 cubic inch, rated at 315 horsepower, which back in the day was amazing. The highest Chevrolet horsepower was in the 1957 Corvette, the 283 horsepower for the 283 cubic inch. First time that the cubic inch equaled the horsepower. Highest Ford output was 275, and the highest Dodge output was their Hemi at 285. So at 315, this car really exceeded and was basically the start of what was to be the performance domination by Pontiac, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. You want me to open the trunk so you can see that fuel injection?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's altogether different than Chevrolet.
The GM of Pontiac was Bunky Knudsen. He brought in John DeLorean and Pete Estes as engineers to head up this operation, and Pete Estes went on to become the GM of Pontiac in 1974, I believe. Of course, we all know what happened to John DeLorean, but this
original paint.
This original paint, yep,
original
everything. I just look at this car and I think it's a 68-year-old car, and the shape that it's in is amazing. How many miles are on this?
Was 91, but the speedometer quit, but it still racks it up. I can't see how fast I'm going, but
the odometer still works.
It's 151, I think, on now.
Wow. Now, you were telling me the story yesterday on this fuel injection unit. You found this on the back of a dealership?
Yeah. They'd taken it off of a car, put the carburetor on.
Now, how long have you had that?
Oh, 40, 50 years.
Wow.
Maybe longer than that.
Now, that's off of another 57
yes.
Bonneville?
Yes. That's what they look like. That's what's underneath the hood.
And that's a Rochester, but it does differ a little bit than the Chevrolet one, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, Chevrolet's was cast aluminum. They were cast. The workmanship on there is tremendous. How they got steel to form it and seal it up to where it work.
100% original. Now, the curb feelers, did you add those, or?
Yeah, I added them.
Yeah, the stainless on this car is absolutely amazing. Now, I read the car's curb weight is 4,258 pounds. But when you look at this car, it is huge. I read that they put a lot of aluminum into it to help the weight.
I don't have no idea. I can tell you stories about Pontiacs. Like I told you, they were in the racing business.
Right.
And the top doggy, which lived about 30 miles from me in Illinois, was Arnick Beswick. And he had an in with Pontiac. And he had the latest speed equipment. He had what they called the Swiss cheese cars, where they took the frame and drilled big holes in them to take the weight off the car, and they called them Swiss cheese. And then he came with aluminum front ends with aluminum bumpers, and I used to race against him. I had a 409 Chevy, and I used to beat him once in a while until he started getting the latest stuff, and then I couldn't stay with him.
Now you're from the Chicago area?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, was this bought at a Chicago dealership?
No.
No?
My hometown in Mount Carroll, Illinois. Little farming town.
Wow.
The dealer couldn't sell it. Everybody was afraid of the fuel injection. And the 58, like I say, come out half year, and the 58s were coming out, and he still had it. And he said, now I graduated from high school, was looking for a car, and he says, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you this car, just what I got in it. I know you want a car, and I want to sell one. So I had my father co-sign a note for me at the bank, and that's how I got it.
Wow. Man. Now these cars, you got the luxury of a Cadillac and the performance, and that was really the first time luxury and performance were put together, weren't they?
Yeah, probably about. Yep.
And the Pontiacs prior to the Bonneville coming out were mostly known as the old man's car,
yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
They wanted to kind of appeal to the younger generation buying the new cars now.
I got a little small thing inside the car. I lay on the fenders. Did you read that?
No, I didn't read that.
You're talking about an old man's car.
Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome. And this is the original top too. This hasn't been replaced?
No, I had to replace it. I was in Vietnam and they had a bad storm where it was stored, and the garage started to blow over and a 2x4 came down and went through the garage and went through the hood or the top, and I had to replace it.
Wow. And the
But it's this original color, and as close as they can come to it.
And the spotlights also double as side view mirrors. That is cool. Okay, can we see underneath the hood? This car here, not only being one of 630, but it was probably the start of the muscle car era. As you look at Pontiac back in the early to mid 60s, it's a precursor to the GTOs, the Firebirds. Just amazing.
All Bonnevilles came with 3 horns, and the blue horn is supposed to be louder than the other horns. And I also have the electric shaver that came with one. Did you see that?
Yeah, could you pull that out? That would really be interesting to see. This is a Remington electric shaver. Oh, it plugs into the cigarette light.
I believe.
That is too cool. Wow. Now the electric fan you added for the floor to heat.
They went.
You added the electric fan just because of the floor to heat.
Yeah. I get this is what I call stoplight heaven down here. And you sit at stoplights and sit there and pretty soon it starts to heat up. And when it's real up around 90 degrees.
Now back in Illinois where you had this car, did you drive it in the wintertime?
No,
No, never. The stainless on here, it's crazy. Now, do these light up?
Yes.
Wow. The dual spotlights with the side view mirrors. Okay, let's take a look at the interior. Now this has a generator on it, I see. Is this a 12 volt system or a 6 volt? 12 volt?
Generator.
Wow.
Original generator.
You can see the writings on the firewall. You were explaining to me that earlier. What was the meaning of the writings on the?
When it came down the assembly line, what they had to put on the car, if it was air conditioning or Continental kit, or that told them what they had to do to it.
Wow.
A lot of shit in here yet.
Of course, they all came with the leather interior.
If you notice the advertising when they tried to sell these cars, the women in '57 had the drop shoulder look on their dresses, and so Pontiac had the drop shoulder look on their seats. The other seat.
Oh yeah, I see that. Interesting.
I should put that back so you can see the other seat is different. But that was part of their advertising, was the drop shoulder look.
Now the red on the speedometer, is that the indicators would go back and forth?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's the part that's broke, but it still racks up the miles.
So I'm seeing 91,526. How many miles do you drive this a year now?
Maybe 5.
And this has the air conditioning?
Hmm?
This has air conditioning?
No.
No air conditioning. Okay. What a time capsule. You had mentioned that Pontiac contacted you a few times wanting to purchase this car?
They went?
They wanted to purchase the car from you, Pontiac?
Not this one.
Not this one?
My '58 and my El Catalina, which is like an El Camino Chevy. Or, yeah. They made 2 of them, and they made 9 of the '58 Bonneville convertibles. It was their 50th anniversary year, and they wanted to do something special. So it was fuel injected, and it was bucket seats, front and rear inside the car. And they want that in back. So want me to put the top down?
Absolutely.
I haven't put it down in years, but I guess it'll work.
Gotta exercise that top.
Must have left the keys in the trunk or not.
Yep.
Yeah. Gotta have the ignition on.
The windshield, as being as old as it is in fantastic shape. Well, look at the rest of the car. Pontiac Motor Division ran until April 27th, 2009, when GM decided to discontinue the Pontiac brand. This car here is pretty much the one that started it all for the performance side of Pontiac. That working? Well, there she goes.
Find the right switcher.
Now, this hanging back here is your boot that comes over and snaps.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So the seat matches, but it's the opposite direction. Power windows. And the clock even works. See a lot of clocks in 10-year-old cars that don't work. It says power seats. There's the power windows. You were telling me yesterday when I asked you about who does your maintenance work, and you said you had taken the fuel injection system apart. Can you telling me you took the fuel injection system apart and you lost a piece? Can you tell me that story?
Yeah, I took it apart here and I shot out in the yard.
So took off something that was spring-loaded?
I was out there for hours till I found it. It was a spring and an orifice. But the orifice was about the size of a pin.
Nothing you're going to go down to the local Napa store and pick one up. Have you had to take any parts off of the one you got at the dealership in your trunk to put on here? Or
No. All he had was that laying out back.
Has anybody ever contacted you wanting to buy that?
No.
No. Truly an amazing car. Well, Robert, I appreciate you taking the time to let us come in and take this video. When I seen this car yesterday, I told Sandy, I said, I gotta get a video of that. That is just something you don't see every day. And I never realized how rare it was until I started doing some investigating on it.
But I have two cars that are rarer than this. Pontiac don't want this in back, but they want my 58 and that El Catalina back.
They're not here, they're up north?
They're up north.
They're up north. Wow.
But I do have a 59 Bonneville in here.
I would love to take a look at that.